Good morning, students. Welcome you all for Next Generation Learning. Today we are going to see the subject Physics, Class 9, Chapter number 10, Gravitation. This chapter contains 7 topics: 10.1 Gravitation, 10.2 Free Fall, 10.3 Mass, 10.4 Weight, 10.5 Thrust and Pressure, 10.6 Archimedes Principle, 10.7 Relative Tensity. From 10.5 to 10.7, the CBSE is deleted from 10.5 to 10.7. 10.5 Thrust and Pressure, 10.6 Archimedes Principle, 10.7 Relative Density. Today's topics: 10.1 Gravitation, 10.1.1 Universal Law of Gravitation, 10.1.2 Importance of the Universal Law of Gravitation. The first part is introduction part. In chapter number 8 and chapter number 9, we have learned that force and motion. And also we know that the force is necessary to produce motion in a body. And we learned the different type of forces: balanced force, unbalanced forces, and friction forces. So in this class we are going to learn what is meant by gravitation and what is meant by gravitational force. So look at the first point. A force is necessary to produce motion in a body. So when we apply a force on the body, it changes the state and start to move. So a force is necessary to produce motion in a body. If we drop a piece of stone from some height, look at this animation. This is a ball or stone. So if you drop a piece of stone from some height, the stone fall down towards the earth. And see, this ball falls down towards the earth. Since the stone starts moving downwards, a force must be acting on it. So some forces must be acting on that. Due to that force, the object moves downwards. So this force is due to the attraction between the earth and the stone. So this is the earth and this is a stone. So the force due to the attraction between the earth and the stone, it is called gravitational force. The force between the earth and the stone is called gravitational force. This gravitational force pulls the object towards it. This type of forces are called gravitational force. In chapter number 9, we learned that what is meant by the frictional force. When the object is placed on the floor, here the two objects are contact with each other. When the two objects are contact with each other, the frictional force occurs. The same thing when the object fall down towards the earth means the earth and objects are attract each other. So this type of forces are called gravitational force, or we can say that gravity of the earth. So who discovered that gravitational force? It is said that once a great English scientist, Isaac Newton, when he was sitting in his garden under an apple tree, when an apple from the tree fell on him. Newton said that an apple falls down from the tree towards the earth because the earth exerts a force of attraction on the apple in the downward direction. So who exert a force on the apple? The earth exert force on the apple in the downward direction. This type of force is called gravitational force, or we can say that gravity. So who discovered that the gravitational force? The great English scientist Isaac Newton. In fact, the earth attracts or pull all the objects towards its center. See here this is the earth and this is a stone. It always attracts all the objects towards its center. So the force with which the earth pulls the object towards is called gravitational force. It is due to the gravitational force of the earth that all the objects fall towards the earth when released from some height. Yes, this is we realized in our real life. When we throw a ball in the upward direction, it reaches some height, again it comes down. And the leaf of the trees fell down because of the gravitational force. The earth always attracts the other object towards it. Due to that, all the objects fall towards the earth. So this type of force between the earth and other objects are called gravitational force. So what are the applications of the gravitational force? The gravitational force of earth is responsible for holding the atmosphere above the earth. We know that this is our earth. Our earth is made up of atmosphere. Our earth is made up of the atmosphere. So who hold the atmosphere? The earth hold the atmosphere towards it because of that gravitational force between the atmosphere and the earth. So the gravitational force of earth is responsible for the holding the atmosphere above the earth. These are the atmosphere above the earth. For the rain falling to the earth, the rain always falls towards the earth because of the gravitational force. Gravitational force between the earth and space. And for the flow of water in the rivers, so the flowing of water also because of the gravitational force. It is also gravitational force of earth which keeps us firmly on the ground. We do not float here and there. So who hold us to? This is the earth. We are living on the surface of the earth. We are living on the surface of the earth. All the things are present in the surface of the earth. The mountains, rivers and everything are present on the surface of the earth. So the earth hold us towards the earth. Because of that we are not float here and there. So these are the application of the gravitational force. Due to the gravitational force, the rain falling to the earth and the flow of water in the river. So every object in the universe attracts every other object. So what is the meaning of this statement? If you take a universe, the universe is made up of million type of atoms and objects and matters. So every object in the universe attracts every other object. Even a small stone attracts a small stone also attract many objects around it. So according to the Newton, every object in this universe attract every other object with a certain force. The force with which two objects attract each other is called gravitational force. When the two objects are attract to each other, then we can say that this type of forces are called gravitational force. So the gravitational force between two objects act even if the two objects are not connected by any means. Do you understand what is the meaning of this statement? The gravitational force act even if the two objects are not connected to each other. Even if these two objects are not connected to each other means the gravitational force act between these two. In frictional force we learn that when the object is kept at a floor, these two objects must be contact to each other. Then only the frictional force occur here. But if you take a gravitational force, if two objects attract each other without connecting between these two. So the gravitational force always act even if the two objects are not connected by a means. If the masses of the object are small, then the gravitational force between them is very small, which cannot be detected by easily. Look at this image. Here I shown for the two objects with the same size and very small. Both are very small. You know that every object in the universe attract every other object. So the gravitational force must be act between these two. The gravitational force must be act between these two. If the mass of the object, here the mass of the object is 100 kilogram. 100 kilogram. If the mass of the objects are small, then the gravitational force between these them is very very small. And it was clearly shown by the arrow mark. This is a small arrow mark. That means when the mass of the objects are small, the force acting between these two objects also small. So please understand this line. If the masses of the objects are small, then the gravitational force between them is very small, which cannot be detected easily. We cannot detect it easily. For example, two stones lying on the ground. So see here, these are the two stones lying on the ground, attract each other, but since their masses 100 kg are very small, so the gravitational force of attraction between them is small, and hence we do not see one stone moving towards the other stone. So here we couldn't see that this stone is moving towards the other stone. When the masses of the objects are too small, the gravitational force between them also small. Due to that, we cannot see one stone moving towards the other stone. And this is a universal law of gravitation. The universal law of gravitation was given by Newton. So who given that universal law of gravitation? The great scientist Newton. So it is also known as Newton's law of gravitation. We can say that universal law of gravitation or Newton's law of gravitation. According to the universal law of gravitation, every body in the universe, if you take any body in this universe, attract every other body with a force. What is that force? Gravitational force, which is directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. And the direction of the force is along the line joining the center of the two bodies. So See the first line meaning every body in the universe attract every other body. So here I took there are the two bodies, this is one and this is two, and it has mass m, small letter m, and it has mass capital letter M. Why I am given the different m here? Maybe this is a 50 kilogram, this is 100 kilogram, so we have to give a different name. So this mass is taken as a small m and this mass is taken as a capital M. If the both the objects mass is same means 50 kilogram and 50 kilogram means we can say that the mass m and m. So here the two objects are different mass, so I took the value of the mass as small m and capital M, which is, see, every body in the universe attract every other body with a force. So some forces exist between these two. That force is directly proportional to product of their masses. So directly proportional to product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance. See here these two objects are separated between some distance, that is a d. So how to measure the distance? From the center of the mass to the center of other mass, it is called distance. Please don't measure the distance from this to this. This is so wrong. How to measure the distance? From the center point of the object to the center point of the other object, that is the distance. So the force is inversely proportional to the distance and square of the distance and directly proportional to the masses. And see, the direction of the force is along the line joining the center of the two bodies. So what is the direction of force? Whether it is, if the two objects are kept here, for in this here one and here one. So what is the direction of the force? Whether the direction of force is the gravitational force is this side or this side or this side. In which direction? The gravitational force direction. The gravitational force always along the joining of the two center of the bodies. This is the direction of the force. This object act some force on this object, and the same as this object also exert some force to this object. Both the forces are gravitational force. And see, you know that every object in the universe attract every object. The force is directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance. The force is directly proportional to product means you have to multiply. That means if you increasing the mass means the force also increased. That directly means if one it increase means other also increased. So the force is directly proportional to product of their masses. The product represent multiplication. And the force is inversely proportional to the distance. See, what is meant by inversely? If a force increase means the distance increase means the force decrease. The distance decrease means the force increase. That means opposite. The inversely means one will be increased, other will be decrease. Indirectly means if one will be increased means other also increased. So this, the gravitational force between these is directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance. So when look at this side, the LH side is the same for both the things, F. So we can equate the equation. So we can write this equation, F directly proportional to m into m by d squared. So we have to remove this proportionality, that means this proportionality. I add one constant, that constant is g. So F equal to g m into m by d squared. Here the g is nothing but universal universal gravitation constant. Please understand this equation. It is a very important. We don't know the value of the gravitational between two objects. So how to calculate the gravitational force between the two objects? That gravitational force is directly proportional to product of masses and inversely proportional to the distance, where G is the universal gravitational constant. And what is the unit of gravitational constant? You know the formula, F equal to G m1 m2 by r square. In normal formula we know that F equal to G capital M into small m by d square. The d is the distance. But here I took r. The t and r also both are represent distance. Here the capital M, instead of capital M I took m1. The small m m2, because there are the two different masses m1 m2. So the r will come to left hand side. So F into r squared equal to G into capital M into capital M2, m1 into m2. And we have to calculate the unit of G. So you kept the G in the right hand side and the remaining things transported to left hand. So F into, here m1 into m2 are in a multiplication. When it come to left hand side, it come by divide. F into r squared by m1 into m2 equal to G. So we can write G equal to F into r squared by m1 m2. Here you know that F equal to force. The unit of force is Newton. R equal to distance. The distance is measured by meter. M1, M2 are the masses. It is measured by kilogram. Please understand. The force is measured by the unit Newton. The distance R is measured by the unit meter. And mass is measured by kilogram. You have to substitute here. G equal to, this is a G equal to F into R squared by M1 into M2. The F is Newton and R equal to meter. Here R square, so I written meter squared by M1 into M2. The M1 also kilogram, M2 also kilogram, measured by kilogram. So Newton meter squared by kilogram into kilogram, kilogram square. In short form we can write the Newton N meter m square by kilogram kg squared. So this is the unit of G. It is a very important, what is the unit of G. And we can write this is also m meter square kilogram power minus 2. When the kilogram will come up, it is kilogram power minus 2. So this is the SI unit of G. Just you have to substitute the known unit in this formula. And what is the value of the universal gravitational constant? You know that the G is the universal constant. The constant means it must have some value. So what is the value of that G? The value of universal gravitational constant G is 6.67 into 10 power minus 11 Newton meter squared by kilogram square. And see, in the last slide we have learned that the unit is Newton meter square by kilogram square. The same thing was given here. The unit is Newton meter square by kilogram square. But what is the value of that G? The value of G is 6.67 into 10 power minus 11. It is a very important. Please memorize it. And the next one, gravitational force between objects of small size and big size. So we are going to calculate what is the gravitational force between the small size object and a big size object. Suppose two balls of 1 kilogram. See here there are the two balls. Each ball are 1 kilogram, 1 kilogram. So the mass of this object is very small. Suppose two balls of 1 kilogram each are placed with their centers 1 meter apart. So what is the distance? It placed 1 meter. Then they attract each other with a force given by F equal to G m1 m2 by r squared. Definitely some force, the gravitational force is exerted between these two objects. Please understand clearly. Here we took the two balls. Each ball have 1 kilogram mass and it is separated from the 1 meter distance. And how to calculate the force between these two? We know the gravitational force formula, F equal to G m1 m2. This is m1 and this is m2 by r squared. It was separated by a small distance. And you know the value of G constant 6.67 into 10 power minus 11 Newton meter square by kilogram square. m1 is 1 kilogram, m2 also 1 kilogram, r equal to 1 meter. Substitute these values. F equal to, the value of G is 6.67 and m1 1, m2 1 and r1, r equal to 1 squared. So here if you multiply and divide, we get 6.67 into 10 power minus 11 Newton. That means the force between these two small objects are 0.00000011, you have to add it 6. So the value of force between these two objects are very, very, very small. That means it gives a minus value 10 power minus 11. So it is obvious that gravitational force of attraction between two balls of 1 kilogram each and 1 meter apart is 6.67 10 power minus 11 newtons, and this is a very, very small force. In a minus means it is very, very small. So when the object masses are very small, the force also very less, because it is directly proportional to the product of the masses. If a mass less means the force also less. If you take big size, here I took the earth, the mass of the earth is more, and here I took the small ball, that is 1 kilogram. So that the gravitational force must be act between these two objects. So here one object is a big mass and other object is a small mass. So what is the force between these two? We will calculate. So here they given the mass of the earth 6 into 10 power 24 kilogram and the radius is 6.4 into 10 power 3 kilometer. See, this is the radius. And the value of G, we know that 6.7 into 10 power minus 11 Newton meter square by kilogram square. So how to calculate the force of gravitation between ball and earth? We know the formula, F equal to G m1 m2 by r square. Here G, we know that the m1 is the mass of the earth. The mass of the earth is 6 into 10 power 24 kilogram and the mass of the ball is 1 kilogram. The distance between the center or the radius of the earth of the ball. So the distance between this ball to the center of the earth is 6.4 into 10 power 3 kilometer. In a 10 power 3 kilometer we can write in the meter form 6.4 into 10 power 6 meter. So here the two object, one is ball and another one is earth. They are separated between the distance 6.4 into 10 power 6 meter. So you have to substitute the known values. F equal to G m1 m2 by r squared. The value of G 6.7 into 10 power minus 11. The value of m1, that means the mass of the earth, is 6 into 10 power 24 and the mass of the ball is 1 kilogram. Here the r square 6.4 into 10 power 6 squared. If you divide this, you can get the force is 9.8 Newton. So this force is a large force. So the earth exerts a gravitational force of 9.8 Newton on a ball of mass of 1 kilogram. So this is a comparatively large force. It is due to the large gravitational force exerted by the earth that when 1 kilogram ball is dropped from a height, it falls to the earth. So these two objects are attract each other. We can see in live. How? Because the small objects are falls towards the earth. So due to that movement, we can say that the earth exerts the gravitational force on the ball. But when the two objects are very small, we cannot see this object move towards this and the same thing this object move towards this. We cannot see because the force is very less between this. When the force is more, we can see the movement of the object. So it is clear from the above discussion that we can ignore the gravitational force between two balls of 1 kilogram because it is very small. But we cannot ignore the gravitational force between 1 kilogram ball on the earth because it is very quite large, 9.8 Newton. So when both the objects are very big, having large masses, then the gravitational force of attraction between them becomes extremely large. See, when both the masses are, if you take the same type of earth as here, when both the objects are big masses, so the force between these two, the masses are very very large, extremely very large. So for example, if you take a sun, earth, moon, they have extremely large masses. So therefore the gravitational force of attraction between the sun and the earth or between the earth and the moon is extremely large. Please understand very clearly. The mass of the sun is 2 into 0.1003 gram, that is 10 power 3 kilogram. 10 power 30. This is wrong. And the same thing if you take a mass of earth, that is 6 into 10 power 24, not this. And the mass of the moon is 7.4 into 10 power 23. So the mass of the sun and the mass of the earth and the mass of the moon is extremely very large. So the force between the sun to earth is very large. The same thing, the force between the earth to moon is very large because both the object masses are very large. So I hope you understood what is meant by the gravitational force. The gravitational force is nothing but every object in the universe attract every other object with the gravitational force. In some object we can see the gravitational force. When the two objects are very small, we cannot see the gravitational force between them. If the mass of the one object is large, if the mass of the other object is less, means we can see the gravitational force because of the movement of the small mass object. Thank you for watching. If you have any doubt in this session, you can ask through the teachment. This is your homework question. You have to do it. And take your book and see the chapter number 10, gravitation. This is the first part, introduction part. They given about Newton's law and 10.1 universal law of gravitation. I explained about the formula F equal to G m1 m capital M into small m by d square, and see the SI unit of G and the value of G, and these are the importance of the universal law of gravitation. The universal of gravitation bind the earth to the sun and the motion of the moon around the earth, because how the moon is revolve around the earth because of the gravitational force, the motion of the planets around the earth, tides due to the moon and earth. The next class I will explain about the importance of the universal law of gravitation. Thank you for watching.